Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, also published on Rumble. At the moment on Rumble, I'm publishing the re-uploads of Void Bastards, one per day. And again, I've got these two active gameplay series, XCOM 2 and Prey from 2017, which is not a reboot or anything like that. It's just because there was this game with the same name in 2006, I think, which doesn't have anything to do with this one, but it's the IP belongs to, I think it belonged to Bethesda at the time, or was acquired, and then they wanted to do a sequel, and badabadi badabadum. Now we have this game, which is pretty good. Yeah, I didn't just start off, I didn't publish anything yesterday. I was caught up with a lot of stuff from work. And I didn't add a break to make a any kind of video. I didn't even upload any of the gameplay stuff. I will try to do so today. Now it's time for Prey. I will try to do this today. Again, at least at the end of the day. At the end of the day, sorry. At the end of the year, will be. It might happen from here and then. One day or so that I might get too busy that I don't have the time to even do the gaming news stuff. But yeah, it's the Christmas time, and a lot of people want a lot of stuff with some urgency and emergencies all over the place, and then yeah, all that jazz. But yeah, from YouTube I also do the thing of post archives on the blogger, and also everything is on Patreon also for extra support. I didn't manage to catch up a lot of stuff, at least interesting news to cover, but we got Dragon's Dogma 2 kind of showcase per se, which by the end it's basically 15 minutes. The stream here, it's around half an hour, but it's like 15 minutes like preview with other games from Capcom. Again, pretty interesting. I never played the original one, so I'm a little bit blind on what it basically is about, but I heard some stuff that basically the pawn system is back. You got basically a new class, which I forgot the name, which is basically you just use trickery to try to deceive the AI and or buff your spawns in battle, which is kind of interesting. This kind, and it's more takes a role more on the background. So it's not very active in terms of the fighting itself. Seems pretty interesting if you like this kind of class. But yeah, it's more like a support role there. Supposedly, in terms of lore, this is supposedly like a new parallel world. It's not a sequel or a prequel or something like that. It seems to be again multiverse kind of a thing there. I think they justify this as a parallel world mainly by the fact that a lot of stuff is similar. The pawn system, the overall story arc, but yeah, pretty interesting how they're going about it. This time around, it has supposedly more royal intrigue. It shows a little bit on the trailer itself. It seems that because you are the chosen one, basically the reason or Horizon. Supposedly the queen or the king was about to set up their son as a fake Horizon, but then again somebody found you the true Horizon, and it's going to get a little bit some shenanigans in terms of politicking, but yeah, seems interesting in there. There is different type of enemies, like giant kind of enemies. They show off a little bit of this giant Talos. It's like a huge enemy, kind of Shadow of Colossus stuff. You have to go about and climb the monster itself and try to hit some specific areas like the weak points to try to overcome. And from the trailer itself, so I'm not spoiling anything, it kind of goes on a path to destruct something. I didn't understand what he was going about, but basically it's something that it triggered this enemy, and it goes basically on a rampage. But I think it's going to a specific place, and basically it's you to try to stop that giant to reach its destiny. Seems pretty interesting how they're going about it. And yeah. basically that is it. It was kind of a short one, which is okay. At least we got a little bit more details here and there. We got the deluxe edition stuff that they announced, of course. The pre-orders are live. Again, I don't recommend pre-ordering anything. And the game will launch March 22nd next year for consoles and PC. And again, as I mentioned before, this game is made on RE engine, but the same one as the Resident Evil ones. So it's going to be interesting how the engine deals with the open world stuff and the systems itself, mainly because Resident Evil is basically third person, or in the case of the first Resident Evil or the mainline Resident Evils is first person views, is very linear, doesn't have open world stuff. It's going to be interesting how the technology of this engine is going to deal with open worlds. I'm very interested, mainly because engine competition, so we don't get stifled with just Unreal Engine 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever it's going to call themselves in the next variations. So it's good to see that it seems pretty good in terms of graphics, graphic-wise. I didn't notice, at least, mainly because it's stream quality, like any kind of weirdness on the gameplay. Seems interesting enough for me. I will keep my tabs on this game, and for sure I will wishlist it and keep track of this game. Seems pretty interesting how they're going about it here. And lastly, in terms of news, seems that the majority of CD Projekt staff is now working on The Witcher 4. Cyberpunk, the Phantom Liberty DLC seems to sold well at the moment. Almost 4.5 million copies sold, which is good. We got this information comes from the third quarter financial earnings of 2023. And of course, for us, one of the things that matters for us is what kind of resources they are allocating for the games. So basically, at this moment, we got basically till the end of the last year, then till the mid of this year, and finally the 31 October. So everybody was basically going around with Phantom Liberty, finishing up the development of that expansion. Again, support for the main game, and then again, Phantom Liberty Ultimate Edition devs in transfer. It's part of this big chunk at the moment. So they are wrapping up the final launches and just prepping up the Ultimate Edition, which is basically similar to the Witcher 3 Ultimate Edition or Game of the Year Edition. It's going to be pretty good. I think now the game is well worth to play. Yeah, and of course the sales are over. We should have, I don't know, 15 days or so. We will get something like Christmas stuff or something like that. For sure, there will be some sales here and there. And I assume it's when the Ultimate Edition. I think they are prepping for launching early next year, the Ultimate Edition for Cyberpunk. But yeah, now a lot of, as you can see here, the developers that are allocated to this new Witcher 4 project, which is Polaris. Yeah, the Polaris project now is entering it like in the big chunk. Basically 50% of the developers are working on that. This is going to be a huge challenge, mainly because it's the first game they are working on with Unreal Engine 5. Even though, again, they kind of have a different deal with the Unreal Engine guys there, mainly because this is going to be for them, because they had their own engine, Red Engine, which is pretty good. I really enjoyed The Witcher 3. I will, for sure, in my free spare time, pick up again Witcher 3 Wild Hunt with all the DLCs that I already have. I'm going to do maybe the 4th or 5th run on that game, but I'm going to pick up some different mods here and there. And see how it handles now. The game similarly, because last time I played was like 1080p, very low settings, because I got the 1060 at the time, so it ran okay-ish, but it was kind of a low detail, but still at the time it was very impressive with the hardware that I had. But now I want to try out in 4K Ultra if possible, and going around at least 4K 60. That's my aim for the games that I'm doing. But yeah, they are now mainly majority of those developers are on the Witcher 4 game, and there was some decrease here on the Serious Molasses Flood. I think this is the one that was supposedly going to be, they basically rebooted the project. I think. I'm not sure because there was one they were working, they will start to expand, but they backpedal and said no, this is not going to worth it, so we're going to start from scratch. And I think that's why we saw this little variation here. The green one, it's basically Gwent related projects. Again, Gwent is a very excellent side game, and I quite enjoyed when they launched Gwent, but I got bored a little bit afterwards. It's pretty interesting, like a side game, and even though the mechanics itself are pretty good as a full game, it's not really for me. But yeah, what else? We got some of them, like Witcher 3 next gen generation, of course, was already dealt with, so no worth then. And Master Slayer Spoko, I don't know what it is. I think this is the mobile game, the Witcher Master Slayer. I'm not sure, but yeah, they are going to full throttle on the Witcher 4, and for sure, some of these devs will start working in pre-production for Cyberpunk 2078 or 2077 Part 2. I don't know what they're going to call that game, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they are coming up. And again, don't expect next year or even the 2025, maybe end of 2025 we might get some news regarding the Witcher 4 project, but until then don't expect too much. Just entertain yourself with the Witcher 3, which still is it's a must play even to this day, even though it's been a lot of years since it launched. But then again, it's a pretty good game, especially with some mods that can enhance the gameplay and the visuals also. And of course, you got Cyberpunk now, that it's what it basically is more in line what they promised when the game launched. So I think it's a more enjoyable experience. And I think next year they are going to improve a little bit the mod support on Cyberpunk, if not mistaken. I think they're going to unlock like full like the full tools that you can where you can go about the Witcher 3. I'm not sure if I'm confusing with another game, but I know there is a game that was launched a few years ago, and now they are unlocking basically everything, so you can basically edit everything on the game if you want to. But yeah, regarding the news, this is it. Not much to talk about, but yeah, we got it's one of those weeks that is very stale. The main thing that I watched about was the Ubisoft thing, but yeah, it's not the first time that it happened, and I already covered that one. So I suppose they were going to be kept quiet for a few months until the next blunder there. We got Epic Game Store, free game, delivers Mars until tomorrow. It's last day, 30th of November, so take advantage of this. Seems pretty interesting, the game. There is the Deliverus Moon, or Deliverus the Moon, or something like that, and this is basically the sequel, Deliverus Mars. It's got some positive reviews, so it's a free game, so you might as well claim it, and afterwards you can play it. And on Steam we don't have basically anything. We got Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, 75% off still until the 7th of December. All the autumn sale stuff already finished. And we got this one, depends on how you pronounce it. Seems pretty interesting. It's very indie game, very niche. But yeah, it's got some positive reviews, even though it's only 21 reviews. But yeah, it's a very niche indie game. I like the art style, and I think it tries to tell a story here. I really don't know too much about this game. I know I wishlisted when it was announced because it seemed interesting. But yeah, it's 40% off. It's not a lot. It's $12, but yeah, I will leave it here if you are interested in this kind of games. And lastly, we got Last Train Home. This is a new game, was launched like yesterday or something like that. It's a real-time strategy. Basically, the story is, I think after the Second World War, something like that. You are on the train back home, and then you got all the perils after the war of encountering like remaining enemies. I think you're bound to home in Russia. I'm not sure. This is based on basically on the true story of like After the war, a lot of people trying to go home and still facing a lot of the fallout of the war. And basically it's squad management, train upgrades and train management there. A lot of stuff that it's very much real-time strategy if you like this kind of games. And it's basically the introductory offer until the 5th of December is like 50% off. It's got very positive reviews. I didn't watch like video reviews of this game, but it seems pretty good from what I've been seeing so far. But yeah, I will leave it here for you. And yeah, basically this is it for today. Hopefully tomorrow we get some great news for us to talk about. But I'm going to wrap up here with the plug on my Patreon for extra support. At this moment, the extra support will be for storage, for me to have ability to have backups of the projects that I do for my private clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.